Welcome to Microsoft Word Tips and Tricks. You're learning with Mo Jones, IT professional and educator. Well, Word has many features. How many of them are you using? Are you only using 10% of the features that are available? Maybe 25%, or maybe 50%. Well, this course is designed. I've broken up into 3 different sections for us. We'll take a look at some really useful design tips. We'll also take a look at some function tips. Then we'll finish up with some nice tool-related tips when using Microsoft Word. So hopefully you're excited about this. I definitely am. Go ahead and open up your Microsoft Word, and when we come back, we'll dive into some design tips. Welcome to Lesson 1. We'll focus on design tips. We'll start off by taking a look at how we can create and modify styles. We'll see how we can overcome formatting with tables, and then we'll take a look at how we can use quick parts. For the first part here, we'll focus on styles. We'll just use some existing styles, and then we'll see how we can modify existing styles. And then we'll go ahead and create some new styles as well. Go ahead and open up the first file. It should say 1 design tips. So go ahead and open up that file here. To make things easier, I'm going to go ahead and just change the theme here, and I'll just go to more of a white theme. There we go. A little easier to see things here. So I'll go ahead and let's go ahead and take a look at styles. So styles can be found right here on the Home tab. Here's the styles command group, and they're already pre-programmed. So for example, I do want to go ahead and use the title style. So I'll give this a quick title. And maybe what I'll do, I'll go ahead and apply some more styles in here. I'll go ahead and apply the heading 1 style to there. And I'll just kind of break this up, right? So video, and then themes, and let's see, and then what else do we have in here? We still have video. Okay, we're good so far. Maybe I'll click on reading here. So I'll just apply some existing styles in here. Now, as you can see, you can make your own style. So I've made my own style there. We'll take a look at that in just a little bit. Now, some other things I can do. What if I wanted to go ahead and, make this particular sentence here? I want to go ahead and give some attention here. So I'll use the intense reference. And you can see, it just kind of makes it all uppercase, and it has a bold look to it. So all of these different styles are meant to just call attention to a place in your actual document. So they are built in. Now, one thing we can do, the colors that are available here, they're based on the theme that I'm currently using. If I click on the layout tab, on the design tab, and I change the theme, you can see right away it's going to update the colors that comes with those particular styles, right? So, for example, if I choose the Ion boardroom and go back to my styles, we can see the colors have changed, but the formatting is still the same. For example, for my intense quote here, we can see it adds a top border and a bottom border. So as you can see, the document is looking much better already just by using those particular styles. I'll go back to the office theme here. Now, what if I wanted to do something like update all of these, maybe I want a different color. I don't want my heading 1s to be this dark blue color. Maybe I want another color in here. So what I can do, if I right click on one of these existing styles here, I can modify it. So let's go ahead and modify that style. I'll right click on it and I'll go ahead and modify it. And this is going to be my update for heading 1. I'll choose another color and I'll go for purple. Why not? I'll go for a purple color and I'll make it bold. And let's see, I'll make it a little bigger, maybe 22. And that's it. Now I'll go ahead and press OK. It's going to add this current style to the gallery so I can see it. And I'll go ahead and press OK. And this should update all of those heading 1 styles in my document. And there you go. We can see all of the heading 1 styles, those 3. They have been updated here for me. So that's how we can use existing styles and or modify an existing style as well. All right. Well, maybe there's something else I want to do in here. Maybe there's a different type of style that I would like to create. Well, I can make my own style. If I hover over this create a style button here, I can create a style based on the formatting of the selected text, and it will store it in the gallery for me. Either the short list of the short gallery here, or I can take a look at the extended gallery just by clicking on the little more button over here. I'll go ahead and create a style or two. So let's see. I'll just go ahead. I can just highlight text. I don't have to highlight an entire sentence or a paragraph. I'll just go ahead and highlight this word right here. And maybe I want this to be, let's say I'll go for the Georgia font. And I'll go for that nice Georgia blue. Let's see, can I find it here? Not too much blue. I'll go for a lighter blue. All right, so I'll go for this blue. And I'll make it bold. And I'll go with a, let's see, I'll go with a bottom border. Where's my bottom border? Here it is. So I'll go with a bottom border. And looks a little weird. Let me remove the border. And I just want a bottom border. Okay, doesn't like my bottom border. I'll just go for outside borders. Okay, so just some basic changes here. So I'll go ahead and see if I can add this to the gallery. I'll click on create a style. And here's my first style here. I'll call this one Georgia. And I'll click on modify just to make sure it looks how I want it to look. So it's going to have that outside border here. I do have some more options in here, but I'm good to go. I do want to add it to the gallery. I'll go ahead and press OK. Here's my Georgia. So if I go ahead and highlight, let's say a sentence, let's see if this will apply that for me. I'll give it the Georgia. And there you go. All right, so that's how we can create a style. We can add it to the gallery as well. And so we're good to go. Let's see what else I can do. I'll go ahead and create one more. I'll click on this word right here. And for this one, I'll make the text a little bigger. And I'll go for, what color do I want? I'll go for dark red. We're always afraid to use red. I'll go ahead and use a dark red here. And what I'll do is I'll put a shade behind it. So I'll go for red on a, we get a high contrast color in here. And don't know if I necessarily like that combination. And I'll also put a border. Just put a bottom border. All right, let's see if I can lock that in. Let's go ahead and click on create a style. And there it is. I like to click on modify just to kind of see how it will look with other text around it. It looks okay. I'll go ahead and press OK. Now I can go ahead and highlight another chunk of text. I'll grab this sentence here and apply that style. And there we go. Right. Did not, doesn't have my shading in the back though. So I may need to go ahead and fix that. So I'll right click on it. I'll click on modify. And let's see, I'll click on format here. And this gives some more options in here. So if I click on font, yeah, so we can see it's absent from here. I'll go ahead and close that. And let's see if I can get a, yeah, it's not giving me that shade, which is interesting. Let's see, let's try border. Nope, that's not going to work for me. It's showing here, but it's not applying. I wonder why. I'll go ahead and hit cancel. Let me try another sentence. Let's try a word. Yeah, it's not giving my shade there. I'm gonna have to take a look and see. I've done that before. I'll see why that is not working. It does work though for an entire chunk of text, but it's just not working for one word. Okay, so I'll go ahead and use it here like that, and I'm good to go. So that's how we can go ahead and create styles. So go ahead and use an existing style. Feel free to modify one and go ahead and create a few styles as well, and come right back. For our next segment here, we'll insert a table and we'll add content to the cells. It's a great way to overcome formatting within Microsoft Word. I'll go back to my document here and I'll scroll down to page 2, and here is a table. And if you take a look at a lot of the different templates, you'll notice that they're constructed from tables. I'll give you an idea of what we're trying to create here. So we can use Microsoft Word to create a nice little, in this case, a nice little brochure or an infographic, if you will. So I want to create something like this. Right? So nice little table. We have a few columns in here. For example, for January, we're offering a cooking class. Nice picture there. Here's the cost with an icon. Here's the instructor with an icon. And here's the schedule with an icon as well. In February, we're offering another course. And in March, we're offering another course as well. So let's see how we can build this in Microsoft Word. It will be very difficult to do this, to get everything to align. So by using a table, we can overcome a lot of the alignment issues. So let's go ahead and see how we can do that. So here's my table. I'll go ahead and just start adding the content in here. Now I do want to add a few more columns. So we'll have a column for the month, the detail, a nice big picture. And then we want some more information over here. So I'll go ahead and insert a couple of columns to the right. Okay, so this would be month detail. This will be for maybe the price, instructor, and the schedule in here as well. So I'll start off with, I'll go for January and then February. So this is going to be a little bit of design in here. And then we have March. The fun part is inserting the image. Right? So I'll click on the Insert tab and I'll look for a picture. I'll grab a stock image and I'll look for something related to cooking. Once I find the picture I like, I'll use the same picture here. The good thing is those pictures are going to fit in the cell, right? So, which is a really, really nice option. Now I need to fix the table a little bit here just to make sure everything is displaying properly. But for now, I just want to go ahead and resize the picture. So I'll click on the Picture Format tab and I'll just want to decrease the width. And I think specifically I want it to be about 4 inches wide. So it's going to be 4 inches wide. And I want to keep it consistent. My other pictures, I want them to be 4 inches wide as well. All right, I'll click on this one. I'll go ahead and insert my second picture. And this one is going to be, let's say, computing. I'll grab this picture. And I'll do the same thing. So I just want the width to be 4. I could even just type 4 right here and press enter. And it automatically adjusts the height for me. It's keeping the dimensions here. Okay, one more. Insert a picture for March. And one more stock image. And this will be for painting. And I'll grab this picture. Actually, that one looks pretty nice too. That's okay. I'll grab this one. Same thing. I'll click on the Picture Format tab and I'll make that the same here as well. Right. So 4, press enter, and there we go. They're actually doing pretty good. All of them so far have been the same height, 2.67. So pretty nice. Okay, so looking good so far. We have, let's go ahead and add some more detail in here. And I'll just add a few icons here for the payment, the instructor, and one for the schedule. So I like to use icons. So again, I'll click on Insert Icons. And I'll look for, let's say, learning. And Actually, first one I want to be price. Let's see what I find for price here. I'll go ahead and grab this. Okay, that's good. I'll grab one for the instructor. Now, if you take a look at what we're doing so far, let's see, learning, and I'll go for, I guess I'll go for this one. And then I have one more. I'll go ahead. Icons are always 1 inch by 1 inch, so they come in very, very nice. One more icon here. This will be for the time or the schedule. So I'll just type the word time. And I'll look for a clock. I'll go for this one and I'll press OK. So there we go. Now, the dimensions of my table right now, I do have some options. When I click on table layout, I can go ahead and specify the auto fit behavior. So right now, I'd like to use all the space. I can use auto fit contents, or I can use auto fit to the window. So I'll use that. I'm going to click on the layout tab and go for smaller margins. And you can see that kind of allows me to use a little more detail. My icons here are a little big. They don't need to be that big. So I'll go ahead and decrease the size for each of them. I'll click on my icon. I'll click on graphics format, and I'll change the width to 0.5. I'll repeat the process for the other two. You can also group them and just do it with one shot as well. Okay. So just by doing that, it gives me a little more room to, display the month and so forth and so on. Okay, looking pretty good so far. It's all fitting on one page, which is good as well. So now I can go ahead and enter the details in here if I want to. So I'll put some prices. So this will be $199. This one will be $249. And painting is going to be, let's say, $159. Right. You can go ahead and enter the name of the instructor. I'll go for Mo Jones here. Why not? Teaching technology. This one will be Keisha Williams. And finally, for painting, I can add some more detail in here. I'll just say Sean Cohen and Mandy Ramirez. Okay, we're good to go. Over here, I can put the hours. I'll just put 8 to 12 for all of them. And there we go. So I have all the details in here. And as you can see, everything is aligned pretty nicely. Right? This will be very difficult to get all these to align exactly where we want them to go. The next thing to do, I'll go ahead and choose a table design, which is going to make things come to life here for the actual table. And I want to go ahead and center align everything. So I'll go ahead and choose a table style first. Right. So here's the grid table 4. So that looks pretty nice. Just remember the colors will overwrite some of your other objects. So if you're going to choose a colorful table, just make sure to change the colors. I'll go for this one here. Now I just need to go ahead and update my icons. I'll go ahead and change them to just a basic outline. Because right now they're hidden behind that black text. So that looks pretty good. That's a pretty nice infographic. Last thing I'll do here, I'll click on the table layout tab. I'll go ahead and select the entire table. And I want to center align everything. So there we go. So that looks pretty nice. If you want to, you can also remove the borders. So I'll say no borders. We first select the entire table first. Click on the table design, and I don't want any borders. So that looks pretty good. So if I convert this to a PDF, this is a nice, brochure that I can use. I can also click on reading view here to get a nice preview of what it would look like. So you can see the borders are no longer visible. So this is a pretty nice graphic. right? So that's what tables allow us to do. So go ahead and construct your table, use any colors, pictures, or details that you want, and come right back. We'll finish up our first segment here. We'll take a look at using quick styles. So we'll create text or an object, we'll apply some formatting to it, and we'll go ahead and save it to the quick parts gallery. Now, quick parts are pretty cool. Basically, if I click on the Insert tab here, it allows me to reuse content that I've created. For example, a little disclaimer here that I've created. So it builds upon styles. It includes the styles, the formatting, and the actual content. So for example, if I wanted to go ahead and create a little employee profile table, I can go ahead and just create it and add it to the quick parts gallery. Here's a signature in the form of a table. If you're in law, here's a pleading caption that you can use as well. Oh, didn't want to do that. So let's see what we can do. Well, the table that I created earlier for that brochure, maybe I want to go ahead and use this in the future. I already have the kind of the shell in here. The only thing I need to do is go ahead and change the months, add my images, and put in the price, the instructor, and the time as well. So let's see if I can just add this to the quick parts gallery. So I can simply insert it for the month of, let's say April, May, and June. So I'll go ahead and select it. I'll actually click on the table layout tab and use the select table. And I'll click on the insert tab. And here I have quick parts. So I'll click on the drop down here. And I can either save it to the quick part gallery, or I can click on auto text here and save the selection to the auto text gallery. This is the quicker way. For this one, I'll click on Save Selection to Quick Part Gallery. I'll go ahead and give it a name, and I'll just call this Brochure Template. And I just want to make sure that I save it to the Auto Text Gallery. Okay. So Brochure Template, make sure to save it to the Auto Text Gallery, and go ahead and press OK. And let's see if I can quickly just insert this next time. So this way I don't have to worry about setting up the table. I'll go ahead and press OK. And I'll go up here. Let's see if I can add it right here. So now when I hover over auto text, here it is right here. If I click it, that's pretty cool. So now whenever I'm using Word, I can quickly just reuse this content that I have created. So that's the whole point. We can create different things, in this case tables, and we can reuse them. You may notice that we already have text boxes. For example, these are parts of the quick parts gallery already. They already have the formatting, their dimensions, and actually content in them as well. So we can actually make our own. All right, I'll go ahead and make another one. I like to use tables for the quick parts gallery, but we can do other things as well. I'm going to insert, for example, let's see. I'll come down here to quick parts. And let's see, I'll go ahead and create something. So I'll insert a shape. It's a basic shape here, a rounded rectangle. I'll go ahead and draw the shape. And maybe I just want something to introduce another section of my document. So I'll go ahead and just type the phrase new section in here. And I'll go ahead and highlight it. And I'll increase the font size, make it bold, italicized. And shapes come with styles. So I'll click on the Shape Format tab here, and I'll give it a nice style. Let me move this over here so I can see it, see the preview. And so you can use any style that you want. You can also make your own styles. If you click on the shape effects here, I like a reflection. So I'll put a nice reflection in there. And I'll go for a glow. Why not? Go for an orange glow. Right? And then I'll make this a little like that. So just a nice header that I can use. I'll actually make it the entire like that. I don't want an outline though, so I'll get rid of the outline. So there you go. I'll go ahead and click on this. And let's see if I can add this to the Quick Parts gallery. So I'll click on the Insert tab, Quick Parts. I'll save it to the Quick Parts gallery. And I'll call this new header. And remember to save it to the auto text gallery. I'll go ahead and press OK. All right. I'll go ahead and delete it. So I want to introduce a new section in here. So let's see if I can add that from the Quick Parts gallery. There it is. Pretty cool, right? And now if I want to be very specific, I can just change the text that's in there. And I'm good to go. So pretty cool. Quick Parts are really, really nice to work with. I'll go ahead and let's see, we'll create one more. I do have one in here, and this one, in this case, it's a employee profile. So we can, quickly just build a table that I'll show it to you here. Right. So just a couple of rows and columns in here. Nice picture. We have the contact information, skills, and the education. So just a quick employee profile that we can do. So that is how we can use Quick Parts. Again, the key, if you're going to use a table, just make sure to select the entire table. You can just click on that crosshair at the very top of the table. This will select all. Or you can click on the Table Layout tab, click on the drop down for Select. So you can use these two ways. I recommend using tables to add them to the Quick Parts gallery, because that's what the professionals are using. Right? So just think about a lot of things that you find yourself doing over and over in Word, that you find yourself creating from scratch every time. Go ahead and create that. Add it to the Quick Parts gallery. And the next time you want to use it, just click on the Insert tab, head on over to Quick Parts, and add it from your auto text. And then you'll be good to go. Right. So pretty nice. All right, go ahead and create a few Quick Parts, add them to the gallery, test them out, and come right back. Welcome to segment 2. In this one, we'll take a look at some different functions of Microsoft Word, such as creating a navigable document. We'll take a look at the outline view, and we can also add some more advanced commands to our quick access toolbar. Go ahead and open up file number 2. This one is function tips. Go ahead and open up that file. And let's take a look at the very first one here. I just have some text in here. So you can see we have 7 pages here to work with. And I want to go ahead and just be able to jump to the different places of the document. I'll click on the View tab. And while on the View tab, I'll go ahead and turn on the navigation pane. Now, the navigation pane allows us to do a lot of different things. It's basically a table of contents. And this table of contents is based on the heading styles. So, for example, here I have the heading 1 style. Notice how it appears here on the ribbon. Here is the heading 2 style. We can notice how that appears as a level 2 item on the navigation pane. Right. So pretty cool. Well, once I turn on the navigation pane, I can jump to different places in my document. So here's managing long documents. If I click here where it says adding more commands to the quick access toolbar, it brings me to page number 3. If I click on random ramblings, just some random text in here, it brings me to page number 4. So that's a quick way that we can just make our document navigable. We can also view the pages here as well. So if you click on pages, you can view all the pages that we have here. So if I want to jump back to page 1, I can simply click there, page 2, so forth and so on. We cannot rearrange the pages though, and we cannot delete pages from this pane. But it's a great way just to be able to jump from one page to the next. So that's how we can navigate our document. I'll go back and click on the headings here. And not only can I jump to a heading 1, if I want to jump to a specific lesson, for example, how to open the navigation pane, it brings me right to that particular place in the document as well. So that is pretty cool. So turn on your navigation pane, click on the View tab, go ahead and turn that on, and you're good to go. Now, those heading 1 styles are a really nice way to be able to navigate through your document as well. Now, I could insert, like a shape if I wanted to, and I can program that shape. For example, if I add a shape here, and I want to insert a link for that particular shape, I can do that as well. If I want to link to a place in the document, so I can create a little shape. For example, I want this one to always go back to the top of the document. So notice it's looking for headings, bookmarks, and the top of the document. I'll go ahead and press OK. Now, let's see. Unlike PowerPoint, PowerPoint has some action buttons down here. We don't have these here. So I'll just call this home. And now what I can do is I can copy and paste this at the top of each page. And I'll just use the alignment here to align this to the top and then to the right. So here's my little home button. And so if I just hold down the Control key and click, that brings me right back to the top of my document. So I can jump to any place. We can program those little shapes there to jump to either the top of the document, a bookmark, or an existing heading 1 style. So pretty cool. Another really nice feature of the navigation pane, or well, using the heading 1 styles, you'll notice when I hover over a chunk of text that's using the heading 1 style, I can collapse it. If I click on this small button here, so I've just collapsed. Now look at that. I've collapsed my entire document to 1 page because these are the 3 different parts of my document. Once I expand these, it opens up the content that's underneath that particular heading. So that's a really nice way to just take a look at your document at a high level. We'll talk about how we can manage long documents. Maybe we want to do something like move things around or switch them. We'll take a look at that in the next segment. Go ahead and turn on your navigation pane. Go ahead and insert an icon or a shape. Go ahead and just convert it to a link so that you can jump to different places in your document. Let's take a look at how we can manage long documents. There's several options here. Now, we already have the navigation pane open. And what I can do actually right from here, let's say I want to move this chunk of text up to the top. Well, I can do that. There's a long way to do that. It's very difficult. I'll go ahead and expand all of these here. So I'll go ahead and expand them all. Looks like we're good to go here. Now, if I wanted to move, for example, adding more commands to the quick access toolbar up to the top of the document, I would need to do a couple of things. I would need to, copy or cut it to the clipboard, go back to the top, make some space, and then paste it in there. And hopefully it would not mess up any of the formatting. Well, look what I can do right here from the navigation pane. I can go ahead and drag this up to the top. And look at that. So now the top of my document, the first chunk of text here is about adding more commands to the quick access toolbar. So I can do that if I want to. And then I can go ahead so it moves the entire block if I do it that way. If I want to bring up random ramblings to the top of the document, I can do that as well. So that's one way, a quick way that we can do that while utilizing the navigation pane. The other thing is the outline view. So on the View tab, all the way to the far left, we have an outline view. So I'll go ahead and click on Outline View, and we'll take a look at how useful this will be when managing long documents. I'll click on Outline View here. And as you can see, I'm seeing pretty much all of my document. We can see that there's a hierarchy in here. So we have the title, we have heading 1, we have some heading 2s in here. The first thing I want to do, maybe I just want to take a look at my document at a very high level. So in the Outline Tools command group on the Show Levels dropdown, I only want to see my level 1 items. Look at that. So it condenses my document just to 3 lines here. Now, if I want to go ahead and view the content that's underneath there, I can go ahead and, I can double click on one of these plus signs. I can do that. This is very useful because this allows us to look at our document at different levels. If I want to see all of my level 1 and level 2 items, here I can dig further down into the actual structure. I'm good to go. So I can see that. Random Ramblings does not have any level 2 items. It's level 1 and then just the body of the text here. So now I can go ahead and expand or collapse these different levels, which is very, very useful. Now, another thing I can do is I can move things around as well. So if I want to move, let's say, managing long documents up to the top, I can do that as well. So I'll just go ahead and reorganize these. So that's a very, very quick way to move and reorganize your document without having to worry about, copying, cutting, and pasting, and making space. It preserves the integrity of your actual document. I'm going to close the outline view. Let's see what this looks like. And let's see what happened here. Looks like a little glitch. Let me go back to, let me change the view. Let's go to reading view. There we go. That was interesting. I'll go back to normal view here, or print layout rather. There we go. Just a little glitch that happens in Word, but I just changed the view and came back and we're good to go. But the main thing is we can see that everything is still intact. We don't have any weirdness going on in here. I'll go back to the outline view. Another really nice feature of the outline view is we can promote or demote these different levels. So for open outline view, if I want to promote this to a level 1 item, I can simply click here, and that's now a level 1 item. So I can use the arrows, or I can go ahead and assign the appropriate level from here as well. So this is a really nice way. As a matter of fact, when you're starting a document, you can even just start your document in outline view. So if I press Control N here, open up a new document, and I go to the outline view, I can go ahead and start my outline in here. So there's the start, there's the middle, end. So I can do something like that if I want to. And we can go ahead and just manage. It's glitching again. Let's change the view, go back. Right. So just like in PowerPoint, you can actually go ahead and start from the outline view as well. So pretty nice way to manage a long document. As long as you have the heading styles in there, that will give you the opportunity to be able to manage a long document. So go ahead and check out the outline view and combine that with the navigation pane, and we should be good to go. Let's finish up segment 2 by adding advanced commands to the quick access toolbar. I'll go back here. Here's my quick access toolbar at the very top. You can actually move it towards the bottom. I'll go ahead and show below the ribbon. Here is my quick access toolbar. Now I have a little more space and I can actually see it a little better here as well. So traditionally we can just go ahead and right click on a command and we can add that to the quick access toolbar. So there we go. So it's a great way to just make quick work of your document. Sometimes it's a little difficult. For example, is the table of contents on the References tab or is it on the Insert tab? So you can add those to your quick access toolbar. But we can also add more. If I click here and I can click on more commands, this opens up the word options for me. And now I am in the quick access toolbar segment. Right now I'm taking a look at the popular commands, but what if I'm looking for a specific command? I can choose all commands, and I can see these are all the commands that are available. Let's see, I'll go ahead and look for focus mode. So I'll type the letter F, and here's focus mode right here. I'll go ahead and add that to the quick access toolbar. There's also a translation available. So I'll press the letter T, and let's see if I can, a lot of T commands here. I'll scroll down to translate. So I have two. One is to translate and one is to review. Here's translate document. You know what? I'll add all three of them. I'll add that one, and that one. What else? I think that's it for now. Let's see. If there's anything else in here I want to use. Let's see what's on the drawing tool. So I'll click on the all commands here, and I'll look specifically for anything that's on the drawing tab. And let's see if I can find the Galaxy pen. I don't see it here. Let me go back to all commands. And I may not be able to, I may have to look for pens individually to be able to find that Galaxy pen. Yeah, I don't see it here. I may have to add this. I'll go ahead and add this. Okay, well, let's see what I'm working with here. I'll go ahead and press OK. And we can see all of those commands now are on my ribbon, on my quick access toolbar rather. So let's see, translate content into a different language. Translate the selected text to a different language. So let's say I want to go ahead and translate this. I'll grab a chunk of text here and I'll click on translate. Opens up the translator over here on the right, and I should be able to choose my language. So I'll go for Spanish. And there you go. So it inserts that chunk of text into Spanish, and I can insert that if I want to. So you can see it inserted that chunk of text for me, which is pretty cool. Right. I do work with a lot of foreign, with other languages, so this is pretty helpful. Okay. Pens. Let's see. Not what I was looking for. Let's click on focus mode. Let's see what that's all about. So I can eliminate distractions so I can focus on my document. I'll go ahead and click there. And this is pretty cool. So it just kind of puts my content front and center for me. And I can still edit in this view. Right? The ribbon is not visible, and we can see it's changing the colors for me. So it's a nice way just to be able to work on your document. It even gives you the feeling, that you're just kind of working in private, a little more serenity, if you will. At least that's the way I'm feeling right now. All right, if I click on the bar up here, I can see the ribbon and I can exit focus mode. So if I click on the view tab here, I can exit focus mode right here. But this is a nice mode that you can see. It uses the dark theme to help us to focus. So at night, this is a pretty good option, maybe. I'll go ahead and turn off the focus mode here, and it puts me right back here. So pretty nice. All right. Here's the immersive reader. So let's see. I'll go ahead and add this to the quick access toolbar as well. And let's see if this has been improved here as well. This is pretty nice. I'll go ahead and click here. And so what this does is it makes the text more easy to read. So we can see the spacing that's in here. We can also ask for the text to be read aloud as well. So I can do that. Let's see, I'll click here, place my cursor right here.
Using outline view. Se documento se transformará en un formato de esquema.
All right, so I'll stop there. So, it's just a really nice view that we can use. and it works pretty well. Let's see. I was trying to see if they improved it. When you're using the immersive view for Microsoft Edge, it allows you to highlight text, and it can kind of give you just a quick description there as well. But pretty cool. I'll go ahead and close the immersive reader here, and I'm back to normal. So there's a lot of little gems here that are hidden in the commands. You can always just go ahead and add them right here to your quick access toolbar. I spend most of my time on the home tab and maybe on the layout tab. So adding the quick access tool commands right here can be very, very helpful. Welcome to segment 3. It's time for tooltips. We'll start off with annotating with the drawing tool. Go ahead and open up file number 3. So file number 3 here is all about tooltips. We'll go ahead and take a look at the drawing tool. Now with the drawing tool, we can annotate, which is my favorite thing to do. I create a lot of how-to documents, and I like to use the drawing tool to annotate. We can write math equations. We can draw lines, specific degrees, and we can work with a free-form canvas. Well, if you take a look at my ribbon, you'll see the drawing tool here. If it's not there, go ahead and go to your Word options. I'll right-click on the Home tab. I'll click on Customize the ribbon. And over here on the right, you should see your drawing tool. If it's not turned on, go ahead and turn it on. And then go ahead and press OK. And you should be good to go. I already have it here, so I'm good. I'm going to zoom in here just a little bit to just demonstrate how we can annotate. So here is my drawing tool. So here are my drawing tools. I have stencils. I have the conversion, so I can convert ink into shapes if I do a terrible job of drawing shapes. I can ink to math. I can insert a drawing canvas. We have help over here as well. Well, the first thing is we can so right now I can use the select tool. So this will select any object that I have drawn on the canvas, and I can manage it. We have the lasso that we can use to just kind of draw around a particular shape and do something with it. Here's our eraser, and here are the different pens. So we have 1, 2, 3 pens. We have a pencil. We have a highlighter. Then we have an action pen, which is pretty cool. Not all versions of Word have this, so maybe I'll take a look at it here. All right, well, what I want to do, click on my select tool here. I want to demonstrate just how to go to Learnit's website and search for an upcoming soft skill class. So I already have the screenshots in here for us. So what I can do is I can go ahead and annotate this. So I'll choose a color. I'll choose a thickness. And I'm good to go. All right, that's probably too thick. I'll go for about here. So I'll go ahead and just draw a rectangle. All right, so this is kind of step 1. You need to go to portal.learnit.com. We can see it kind of snapped it into a proper shape for me. I'm going to turn on ink to shape. This will automatically refine hand-drawn shapes. All right. So what I want to do next is to search for public courses. So I'll go ahead and draw a rectangle around here. And there you go. All right, so that takes care of step 1. So this is pretty much step 1. Go to portal.learnit.com and search for public courses. So it's one thing to write instructions, but to be able to see it on the screen, that's a pretty nice option there as well. I'll go ahead and scroll down a little bit here. And so once you click on public courses, you're brought to another screen, and you have the chance to search for either soft skills or business applications. So I'll change the color here. I'll go for a bluish color. And let's see, this time I'll draw an oval. There you go. Draw an oval around soft skills. And then once I do that, I can view the upcoming soft skills courses. Now, my oval is a little offline here, so I'll click on the select tool. And when I click on it, it's basically a shape. So I can, I can change the color if I want to. Many different things I can do. I just want to make it bigger. Or taller, rather. And there we go. I'll go back to the drawing tool. And there you go. So pretty nice option there. I'll go ahead and click on here, and this will be step number 2. Right. So view upcoming soft skills courses. I'll scroll down, and then finally, once you're here, we get to the point where you want to be. We can view the upcoming soft skill courses, plan your career growth, strategize your day with time management, and or manage your stress. So it's a really nice way to just kind of annotate. I've done some simple annotations here, but you can imagine we can draw arrows, we can point things out, we can highlight things as well. So let's see. We'll go ahead and use the highlighter here. And I'll just highlight this personal development section. I'm good to go. So that's just basic annotation with the drawing tool. Now we also have equations. So if you're like me, I don't feel like clicking on the Insert tab and looking all over for equations, right? And special symbols that I don't have on my keyboard. So what I can do is I can just use the drawing tool to write some math equations. So the equation of a line, right? Y equals mx plus b. I don't have those special characters on my keyboard. I don't feel like looking for them in here. So here comes my drawing tool. I'll click on Ink to Math. Here's my little window here. We can resize this to make it bigger. And I'll write my simple equation. So y equals mx plus b. Not bad. I got it correct for me. If something was incorrect, I can always just use the select and correct. Maybe if this was a 2, I could circle it, and it will provide some different options for another symbol that I can insert. I'll go ahead and insert that. There we go. What about calculating force? Right, so force equals mass times acceleration. Let's go ahead and use that one here. And I'll go for my drawing canvas. I'm sorry, not my drawing canvas. I want to go for my Ink to Math. And I'll say F equals mass times acceleration. Pretty good. There we go. All right, one more. I know I went to a technical school, so all these formulas are in my head here. I'll go ahead and calculate power, which is current times voltage. So I'll do one more. Force of habit. I keep opening up my canvas here. I need to Ink to Math. Here we go. All right, so I'll say P equals IV. I think that should be a big V. Let's see. Go ahead and select this one here. And let's see. I'll use that one. And there we go. So you can think of the different types of math equations that you can insert, especially for engineering or statistics. Let's take a look at the canvas. So finally here, I'll go ahead and insert the canvas from the drawing tab. And the canvas comes in as a shape as well. And it just gives us a blank canvas to work with. Let's see if I can, that's fine. It's on this next page here. So it's basically a free-form canvas. And we can pretty much do whatever we want to do on here, right? I can go ahead and draw up a quick football play if I want to. And whatever I do here is going to show up as an actual shape. Right, so here we go. I'll run a post there. Inside or out. Go. And he's going to block. Pretty nice looking football play. Hopefully it works. Well, I'll go ahead and click on the select tool. And now you can see it's pretty much locked into that canvas for me. So pretty nice. So just a nice free form that we can use on this actual canvas. It keeps everything right inside of the shape. So it does not really alter or interact with the text that's around it as well. See if I can resize this. I can, but there we go. So I can resize it. Took a little while to kind of, align there, but we're good to go. So a lot of freeform that we can use on the canvas there. I'm going to go ahead and insert some random text, and let's take a look at some other tools here. So here is the action pen. I'm just going to insert some random text, and we'll take a look at how we can use this with some natural gestures. So here's the action pen. If I click on it, and if I click on the small down arrow here, I can get some help. Opens up the pane over here on the right, and just have a few gestures that I can use. For example, if I want to delete a word, I'll go ahead and delete this word here. There you go. So it deletes it. I can select a word by circling it. Now it pops up the mini toolbar here that I can use to change the font attributes if I want to. Okay. If I want to add a new line, so maybe I want to add a new line right here, I'll use the action pen. Let's see. Looks like I lost it. Let me go back and click on it here. Okay, so right here, there you go. So it adds it to that next line. All right, so far so good. I'll go ahead and split a word. So I need to draw a line going down. Let's look for a compound word here. Here's keyword. That didn't work. There we go. So that splits the word. I can join a word right here if I want to. This will be pretty cool on a touch screen. I can imagine how well that will work. Just natural gestures here to be able to use. And let's see. I think that's it. I failed miserably using this one, inserting words into a sentence. Let's see. Yeah, it just doesn't work well for me. So pretty nice. That's the action pen. And of course, we have some other things in here like the pencil. And the pencil works well. It's even if you were to try and just do some shading with it, you can see it's really behaving like an actual pencil. Right? So pretty cool. These other pens, they have some interesting, like granite look and feel over here as well. So you have a lot of tools at your disposal here on the drawing tab, just to make your document look, more interactive and be able to, again, annotate, insert some math equations and some other special things as well. So go ahead and activate your drawing tab and go ahead and check out these features and come right back. Let's move on to our second tooltip here, which is to give your document a professional review. I still have my file number 3 open here, which is the tooltips, and I'm currently on page 3. Now, I'm going to turn on the editor. So if I click on the review tab, here is the editor. So I'll go ahead and click on here. We can also press the F7 key, and that will launch the editor as well. Now, once I launch the editor, it's giving me some details here. The biggest thing we can see is that it's giving me a score of 76%. So obviously, 100% is what we're looking for. So, we have our document in here. So let's see what changes we need to make grammatically so that we can get to 100% here. The main thing to note is that we can basically review the document based on different types of writing. So this is for formal writing. We can see that we have 7 spelling corrections and 8 grammatical corrections. We have some refinements in here as well. Let's change this to professional. So professional is for general business communication. And we can see some slight changes in there. We see that the editor score here is 79%. We still have the same amount of spelling and grammatical corrections, but fewer refinements, just 6 for clarity. Let's check for casual. So this is really for creative writing. So we have 80% there. We have fewer corrections and the same amount of refinements here as well. I'll go back to, I'll use professional for this demonstration here. And the way that this works is I can just click right here on spelling. I can also click on these little icons here. So this one tells me that I can either accept or ignore spelling suggestions to increase the score by 12%. So I can just click here and kind of have the editor correct the document for me. Or the other one here are the grammar suggestions. And then I have refinements, right? So corrections, refinements, and some more insights down here as well. So I'll go ahead and check the spelling first of all. So I'll click on spelling. And as expected, it's finding some grammatical errors here. So I'll go ahead and change this to, to grammar, right? So this is spelled incorrectly. So I'll go ahead and just change that. Right. So there we go. So I've corrected those, and this score should update. We can see that we're now at 90%. Well, what about grammar? I'll go ahead and click on grammar here. And let's see what it's catching. So this one is just telling me that I'm missing a punctuation. So I don't have the period at the end. So I'll go ahead and fix that. Same thing here, missing a period. Typically for, technical writing such as this, I don't really use periods, but I can go ahead and use this here as well. This one is interesting. It's telling me that a noun works better than a verb here. So instead of calculate force, it's saying calculation force. I'll go ahead and ignore that. It doesn't really make too much sense here. I could, however, just provide a little more context if I want to, right? So as an example, we can calculate force. I'll go ahead and ignore that one. So far, so good. So I have 4 remaining. So again, just more punctuations. I'll go ahead and add this here. So this is pretty cool because, we're kind of learning along the way as we're making these corrections. If you just take the time to kind of read, as you continue your writing in the future, these are different things that we can look out for. So here is telling me to use there instead of THEIR, which typically relates to a person. So if it's not, you want to use the other version here. So I'll use there. Okay, and this one, let's see, a word may be missing, using active voice rather than passive voice. So it's saying using an active voice. So we're missing a word here. I'll go ahead and add that. And same thing here as well. And there we go. So now we are at 96%. Right. Now, as we go down the list here, these are, we can kind of review these to make sure that they make sense. But we have several refinements and 1 vocabulary. So I'll check the clarity here. So for this one, it's just helping us to provide more clarity when we're writing. Sometimes we may be missing, a part of the sentence for context. In this case, it's telling me that a simpler word would be clearer for our reader. So this one says, additionally, using an active voice and maintaining consistency and clarity. Let's see. It's saying to use keeping or supporting instead of maintaining. Let's see. Using an active voice and maintaining consistency. I'll say keeping consistency. This one says video provides a powerful way to help you prove your point. Now this makes sense, but it's saying we can also use offers here. So for this one, I can either, I can check it or pass on it. I'll go ahead and use this one. Right. Same thing. And we have 4 remaining here. Using the correct tense is vital for indicating the time of an action. I'll ignore that one. They help to separate ideas, clarify meaning, and indicate pauses. I'll ignore this one as well. So 2 more to go. And let's see. Instead of maintaining the flow of your writing, we can say supports the flow of your writing, that's fine. I'll use support here. Right? So just some other synonyms. Last one. I'll ignore this one as well. Right, so we are at 99%. Let's just check the last one here for vocabulary. And let's see if we can make sense of this one here. So a more precise verb would be clearer and more impactful. So whether you're writing an essay, so it's saying using authoring or drafting. I'll say authoring. That sounds a little better. And I'll go ahead and press OK. And now we are at 100%. So pretty good to go. Well, let's check the casual. Sometimes we just need to kind of wait for this to refresh. That looks pretty good. And if I check formal, I may find some issues here. Yep, there we go. So formal is a little more scholarly, and so we have more refinements in here, such as clarity. I'll go ahead and click here. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I can just go ahead and it's actually giving me all of them here. So I can ignore once, or I can stop checking for this. All right, so using programming ensures that your message is understood and taken seriously. I understand that statement. It's not even giving me any suggestions. So I'll stop checking for this. And active voice is generally preferred in most forms of writing. Okay, so generally I can exclude generally from there. So I'll click on preferred here. This one is a table, so I'm not too concerned about this. It's just asking me to write the word as opposed to typing the actual number. So there's certain instances where the number is appropriate as opposed to writing out the word. I'll go ahead and change that to 100. That's fine. And then here's the number again. And I'm good to go. So that is the editor. So a really, really nice tool to just make sure that your document is void of corrections and that your writing is actually refined as well. You're providing clarity and you're being concise with your writing. 2 tool tips down, 1 to go. Let's take a look at using shortcuts with the Alt key on our keyboard. It's a really nice way. So I'll go ahead and close my editor here. And I do have a table in here. So this is page 5 of document number 3, which is tooltips. And I've just added a couple of shortcuts here that we can actually use. Now, if you press the Alt key on your keyboard, so I'll go ahead and press the Alt key here. Now, if you take a look, you'll notice that all of the elements on the ribbon, even the quick access toolbar, has some quick letters here that we can use to access either that particular command or that particular ribbon tab. So for example, if I wanted to insert a table, I would need to, typically you would click on the Insert tab, but now I can press the N key for Insert. And now that I've pressed the N key, I'm on the Insert tab. And now to insert a table, I can press T. And then from there, I can just go ahead and press the Enter key, right? So Alt, N, T, and then Enter. I'll go ahead and press Enter here. And here's my single table with, 1 row and 1 column. So let's see if I can do that quickly by using that shortcut. I'll go ahead and delete this table. So I'll just press Alt, N, T, Enter. Okay. Alt, N, T, Enter. There's my table. Right? So now I can press the Tab key and add some more rows to it, and I'm good to go. So that's how the Alt key works. Now, I do have a few examples in here, but you can pretty much use the Alt key to do anything that you want to do in Microsoft Word. It's a matter of just going through the process of identifying the step-by-step keys here that we need to use. Now, what if I want to go ahead and insert a chart? I'll move down here just to space. And if I want to insert a chart, so typically you'll click on the Insert tab, and then you'll click on the chart, and then you'll choose the chart type. But I want to go ahead and insert a quick chart. So I'll press Alt, N, C, and then Enter. Right. So Alt, N, C for chart, and then press Enter, and this will give me that default clustered column chart. So let's do that a little faster here. Alt, N, C, Enter. Alt, N, C, Enter. And there is my chart. So pretty cool. So we can kind of get the idea here. So I like to, stick to no more than four keys here. Let's try another one. What if I want to change the page orientation? Right. So if I click on the, let's see, if I click on the layout tab here, here's the orientation, and I can either change it to portrait or landscape. Let's use this, and let's see what happens here. So Alt P, O, Enter. I'll do it slow, then I'll do it fast as well. So Alt, P is for page layout, O is for the orientation, and if I press Enter, it gives me the default portrait orientation, or I can change it to landscape. So I can simply just press down, change it to landscape here. And there we go. We can see the document has indeed been changed to landscape. I'll put that back to portrait. So Alt P O Enter. Alt P O Enter. And look at that. We're right back to portrait orientation. So go ahead and think about some of the different things that you find yourself doing over and over in Word, and just go through the process. Click on the Alt key and go ahead and identify the key combinations and just write them down. You can just add another row to this table and add the combination in here as well. I'll just go through a few more here. Let's see, if I want to add a footnote, we'll add a footnote right here. So I'll press Alt SF. So that's a pretty nice one, just 3 keys, Alt SF. So Alt SF, here's my footnote. Right. I'll just say footnotes appear at the end of the current page. There's my footnote. Right. So pretty cool. Okay, we also have quick parts. So quick parts are a really, really big deal in Microsoft Word. On the Insert tab, here is quick parts. And again, we can add our own quick parts to the quick parts gallery. So I can use one of those if I want to. So this one is, let's see, I'll go for Alt N Q A. So Alt N Q, and there's the auto text for quick parts. If I press A, that shows me the quick parts library, and now I can just go ahead and add, you can use the arrow key to add any of these quick parts. I'll go ahead and add the signature line. And there we go. Right. So pretty cool. All right, I'll do maybe 2 more here. I'll go ahead and change my zoom level. You can also hold down the Control key and scroll up to zoom in, or hold down the Control key and scroll down to zoom out. I'm going to zoom in to about 130% here. I want to zoom right back to 100%. So Alt WJ, pretty simple. Alt WJ, back to 100%. Right. Okay. And let's see. Sometimes if you are, let's see, I'll go to, sometimes this will happen. When you click on the View tab, sometimes when you're working in Word, it goes to this, multiple page view, which can be kind of frustrating. You could click on the View tab and just click on one page here, and that will take care of that for you. But there is a shortcut for that as well. I'm going to press Alt W and press 1, and that will put me back to just one page. So Alt W1. Right. So pretty cool. It does kind of move you away from the page you were working on, but we're good to go. I'll go ahead and zoom back to 100%. So Alt WJ, and there we go. So everything has been mapped for you already. Go ahead and add some more shortcuts to this table. And if you're like me, you'll only memorize maybe 3 or 4 of them. But if not, you can go ahead and just have a little cheat sheet here that you can use. So that is our third tooltip. Congratulations on completing the course. We took a look at a few design tips. We also took a look at a few function tips. Then we finished up with some tool tips as well. So congrats on completing the course. I hope this was helpful for you as you continue on your journey using Microsoft Word. Last thing to do here is to enjoy Microsoft Word.